In a lot of countries, a salary of 2,500 euro, or more or less its equivalent, would mean a very decent lifestyle, let alone a salary of 5,000 euros. But is it enough in the Netherlands? If you're about to move to the Netherlands, you naturally want to know what kind of lifestyle you'll be able to afford with your income. So you might be wondering, what kind of income is good for the Netherlands and what are the costs of living in this country? To give you an idea of the costs of living in the Netherlands, in this video I'm going to compare two people. Meet Emma and Mary. They both live in the Netherlands in The Hague, but Emma's salary is 2,500 euro. While Mary's salary is 5,000 euro. They're both single working professionals who live alone. So let's see what their costs of living are and how much their lifestyle differs based on their income. By the end of this video, you'll get an idea of what kind of salary you need to be making to afford a decent living in this country. Let's start with calculating how much they really make, because I know that for a lot of you what I'm gonna say next is kind of obvious. But if someone's salary in the Netherlands is 2,500 euro or 5,000 euro, that doesn't mean that this is the amount of money they are getting to their bank account every month. This is their gross salary, which means their salary before taxes. So what are their taxes? And are these different? And here comes an interesting thing. When I was moving to the Netherlands, I was told that the general tax rate is about 40%, and it's 55% for the higher tax bracket, which starts with 70k per year. I later discovered that it's not exactly how it works, though. If Emma's gross salary is 2,500 euro per month, that means that her net salary is 2,060 euro, which is absolutely not 40%. The tax system in the Netherlands was built on the premise that people should be more or less equal. So if your income is lower than average, and for 2,500 euro, it's true, it's a salary that is lower than average, you can claim some benefits and as a result pay lower tax. Mary's gross salary is 5,000 euro, which means her net income will be around 3,500 euro. However, this calculation is correct only if she doesn't have the right to a 30% ruling, which a lot of expats coming to the Netherlands have. If she does have this ruling, 30% of her gross income is not taxed, which means that her net income would be around 4,200 euro. What a drastic difference, right? So now that you know how much money they both have in their pockets, let's see what their expenses are. And I won't go into too many details in this video because I have a separate video on finding accommodation here in the Netherlands. I'll leave you guys a link somewhere here. Check it out if you're interested. So what's the average rent in The Hague? If you want to rent a one-bedroom apartment in The Hague, you're looking at 1,000 euros. And that's your starting point, very much starting point. And it will be extremely challenging, if not impossible, to get such an apartment. Because if you go to Funda or Pararius, and these are the two most famous websites that you use for renting property here in the Netherlands, if you go to these websites and you look for apartments for rent, what you see is that most of them under 1,400 euros will have this special note, housing permit required. Most properties with a rent of 1,300 euro and even 1,400 euro are considered affordable housing, which means that the municipality has special rules for letting out such apartments to people. These are not slums, not social housing. These are very normal apartments from companies and private landlords. It's just there's this special regulation which states that you cannot rent such an apartment if your salary, unless your salary is lower than 60k per year, which means 5k per month. And by the way, not every municipality has that, so The Hague is really special here. So why are we even discussing that? And there's a good reason. It's because with a salary of 2,500 euro, Emma has the right to rent an apartment for 1,000 euro and get this affordable housing permit. Although I have to tell you, this will be really challenging as most landlords, be it corporate or private landlords, require that your gross income is at least 3 times the rent. With that being said, Mary doesn't have the right to rent affordable property, so she'll have to look at the higher segment. And most probably 1,500 euro can get her a very nice and decent apartment. Good, but that's not all. The rental price that you see on Funda or Pararius does not include utilities: gas, water, electricity, and internet. It's really hard to provide a ballpark figure, as this normally depends on the size of your apartment and its energy label. But let's say if you live in a one-bedroom apartment and you maintain a reasonable temperature throughout the winter, not more than 19 degrees Celsius, 250 euros should cover all the utilities. And that's an average amount, because you're definitely paying more in the winter, and in the summer for the heating, for instance, you are paying almost nothing. So let's add 250 to the girls' expenses. If you're enjoying this video, consider hitting like and subscribe. Thank you so much. The next type of expenses they both have is taxes. Yes, taxes. Again, this time it's taxes for the water and waste, and the final figure depends on the municipality and it can be very different, but generally water tax is about 200 per year and waste tax is about from 200 to 400 per year. So it should be around 50 euro per month for both of them. The next type of unavoidable expenses in the Netherlands is health insurance. It's mandatory to have insurance for each member of your family who is over 18 years. In 2023, a basic health insurance will cost you 130 euros. And it's true that you can decrease this amount a little bit, like you say, I don't need a doctor this year, I don't plan on using my insurance, so I want to decrease this amount and increase your own risk. But it will be like 10 or 20 euro a month. It's not really significant. So you will be paying at least 130 euros. Next, mobile connection and subscription services. YouTube Premium, Netflix, whatever you can think of. 50 euro can potentially get you all of the services. Remember that the Netherlands is not exactly a cheap country, so these services might cost you a lot and much more than in your original country. Next, food. How much do you spend on food if you eat at home? If you are quite modest in what you eat, you should be fine with 10 euro per day, per person. You'll still be eating pretty well like a normal person. I mean, 10 or 15 euro a day might get you eggs or pancakes for breakfast, a soup for lunch, and something like fish or meat for dinner with a side dish. So what do Emma and Mary have left? Emma has 180 euro left, while Mary has 1,120 euro. Oh no, I forgot to mention transportation costs. And typically, if they work from home, 50 euros should be more than enough to travel. I mean, a round trip across the city would be around 6 euro, and a round trip to Amsterdam would be 20 euro. I guess we won't be calculating their cost for clothing, as it's pretty much similar in all the countries, you know? What we need to check is entertainment. And from my perspective, going somewhere is about 50 euro per person, probably from 50 to 100. And it's nothing fancy, it's just regular restaurants and regular types of entertainment. Last month, me and my husband went to a steak restaurant and we had a very good meal with wine, with a lot of meat, and it was 100 euro. A few weeks back, we went to karaoke and it was 120. A private room and karaoke was 100 euro. I'm never gonna survive in this country. Just for you guys to know, it used to be 10 times less for me. And we also went sailing with friends, which was 120 per person. So these are the kind of expenses you can expect in the Netherlands. My personal takeaway from this comparison was, you know, for a lot of people, a salary of 5,000 euro is gigantic, enormous, and that's something they strive for, that's something they dream about. But once it's the Netherlands, it's not that big of a deal. And have you noticed that the difference is actually not as drastic as you might think? The salary of 5,000 euro a month won't get you this luxurious lifestyle. And in fact, due to the tax system, it's not that much different from the salary of 2,500. It's actually not much. And picture what happens if you have a partner who's unemployed or a kid. It's nothing fancy. And now I'd love to hear from you. Let me know in the comments what kind of salary in your country would get you the same lifestyle as 5,000 euro in the Netherlands. Thank you so much for watching and see you next week.